I wanted to do another slightly longer video now because I couldn't really manage this in 3 minutes as a short. And I wanted to do a video all about extraterrestrial real estate and the legal sort of thicket that the 1967 Outer Space Treaty presents. So I'm looking at the Wikipedia page now for extraterrestrial real estate and the legality of claiming the moon, for instance, and selling bits of it off online, which I suppose has been debated by scholars of space law, of extraterrestrial law, and what terms such as national appropriation means, what the spirit of the 1967 Outer Space Treaty really entails. So I'm going to read now the section, a bit of the section on law and governance from the Wikipedia page. So it goes like this. The United Nations sponsored 1967 Outer Space Treaty established all of outer space in international commons by describing it as the province of all mankind and forbidding any nation from claiming territorial sovereignty. Article 6 rests with responsibility for activities in space to states parties, regardless of whether they are carried out by governments or non-governmental entities. The Outer Space Treaty of 1967 has been ratified by 102 countries by 2013, including all the major spacefaring nations. It has also been signed but not yet ratified by 26 other nations. The Outer Space Treaty established the basic ramifications for space activity in Article 1. The exploration and use of outer space, including the moon and other celestial bodies, shall be carried out for the benefit and in the interest of all countries, irrespective of their degree of economic or scientific development, and shall be the province of all mankind. Okay. It continues in Article 2 by stating, outer space, including the moon and other celestial bodies, is not subject to national appropriation by claim of sovereignty, by means of use or occupation, or by any other means. So, what this means is that you can't go there and claim it for yourself. That is what it means. You can't plant your own flag on there without, in principle, giving everything back to humanity. However, what I've done under the constitution that I established for the Outer Solar Empire is that I introduced a basic form of taxation which guarantees some degree of, it allows for some degree of competitiveness, but it doesn't allow the richest 20% to go 80% richer than the poorest 20%. So it has this automatic framework of taxation and redistribution, and it ensures a balanced economy of a great deal of economic equality. So this prevents certain individuals from becoming too wealthy, and it ensures that the outer space, the territories of outer space, the Outer Solar Empire, are maintained as a commons. And I've also issued edicts stating that I have turned over, in principle at least, the territories of the outer solar system to every living human being, every person alive on planet Earth, as of the issuance of that edict. So I think what I should do probably is give automatic citizenship to every living human being for free, basically, and allow humanity as a collective organisation or entity to eventually go to the outer solar system and begin exploiting its resources. For instance, the huge mineral reserves on Titan, and just use it for the collective good of mankind, which is in the spirit of the Outer Space Treaty. Because the first article of my constitution is that all laws passed within the outer solar system shall be in obeisance to earthling law unless relevant contradictions exist within earthling law. So as much as possible, we seek to follow international law as established on Earth, which is what I think earthling law really means. The laws that govern the entire planet, not necessarily the laws of any given nation state upon planet Earth, since that would create a ridiculous number of contradictions, unless any relevant contradictions exist. So I think that we should strive to obey the Outer Space Treaty. What I think I've done with my constitution and with this establishment of various nation states on each individual celestial body, which, by the way, does not put each celestial body under the suzerainty of any given nation. That is important as well. the establishment of several different nations per celestial body sort of guarantees that there's a great deal of plurality. And an empire isn't a nation state. It is a supranational organisation. It is a confederacy of nations, if you like, a confederation of nation states. I think people, like, because of Star Wars and things, really shy away from the idea of empires, and maybe I should just, like, republicanize the whole thing, call myself the first president, or I don't know, like, whatever, of the Federation of the Outer Solar System or something, or the Outer Solar Federation. Maybe, yeah, a federal system is more palatable to people than an imperial system. But I wanted to allow for it to be humorous, and I wanted myself to sort of grow old and be like a cackling comedy emperor. I sort of had that in my mind. It's just something I'd like to do. A horrible little old man like Palpatine, the Emperor, yeah! and all that sort of stuff. And, like, my house symbol is Pirate Captain Rubber Duck. And I wanted it to be really fun and sweet and humorous, and for it to portray the sillier and more special and more human instincts of humanity, rather than it being a boring, bureaucratic, federal, republican sort of system or anything like that. And, I wanted it to be a big, ridiculous, fabulous comedy empire, flying ultimately under the rainbow flag, with various flags for the various different nations. I want a nation on one of the moons, for instance, called Cunt. Just a tiny little country called Cunt, and we all elect to make one person king of Cunt. I don't know, something like that. And the people of Cunt elect their leader, like, oh yeah, the king of Cunt. I don't know, or something like that. And it's because it would portray humanity at its most human. I think if we were to do stuff like that with this opportunity for mirth and hilarity, and I think it could be really interesting. And also dignifying everyone on Earth who's over the age of 27 at least, with the noble title of Lord. You get to be a Lord of Space if you're a citizen. You can potentially become a king if you get elected a king. You can serve as a representative in one of the democratic chambers if you want. For the juniors and the seniors of the Outer Solar Empire, become an emperor if you're a good king. And people on the entire moon like you enough to make you one, and ultimately you can, if you get me de-elected as first citizen emperor, you can become first citizen emperor of the Jovian system and take over my position, and become the leader of the ultimate supranational organisation of the whole thing, basically. Since the Jovian system, the other systems are clearly under the suzerainty of the Jovian system, since the Jovian system is the most powerful, really. The Saturnian system, I suppose, is fairly powerful as well. But yeah, so back to the International Space Treaty, or the Outer Space Treaty. Province of all mankind. Yeah, like what I do also in the Constitution, I do lots of things in the Constitution. I outlaw slavery in all its forms, unless it's consenting, between adults, obviously. And I should have maybe mentioned that. But yeah, I added that. Maybe it needs a little bit of work, this Constitution. Establish the rights of animals, alien life forms, which I think is very important. I established the rights of ownership to green plants and fungi. I think it's very important. I established something called the Pantheist Order, whereby we have a religious organisation associated with the empire, whereby you must assent to the central fundamental belief that God is nature, uh, to be acceptable within the pantheist order, which I mean, like, might be something like the Jedi order or whatever, and like Jediism would be welcome because I bet they're basically pantheists. And yeah, I've done a lot of good things, I think, in my constitution, and I think is a constitution that enriches outer space law and advances it and pushes it into new territory and gives people rights and freedoms and liberties that they don't necessarily have on Earth. So I would probably like to issue an imperial edict at some point stating that I am going to turn over free citizenship for every man, woman and child currently living on planet Earth of the OSE under my suzerainty, and leave it up to them to organise on their own behalf the establishment, probably online to begin with, of the various democratic chambers associated with the various countries of each moon and the various levels of supranational organisation, i.e. empires, that coalesce upon each moon and each planetary system, and begin running it as a proper country, or as a proper system of countries. So this is what I want. I'm going to just read on a little bit on this. So, the development of international space laws largely revolved around outer space as the province of all mankind. The Magna Carta of Space, presented by William A. Hyman in 1966, framed outer space explicitly as terra nullius, but as res communis, which subsequently influenced the work of the United Nations Committee on the Peaceful Uses of Outer Space. A subsequent treaty document, the International Moon Treaty, finalised in 1979, just 5 countries have ratified it by 1984, but 5 countries were sufficient for it to be considered officially in force, went further and forbade private ownership of extraterrestrial real estate. Private ownership. This agreement has not been widely ratified, with only 18 countries having ratified it by 2018. Several individuals and private organisations claim ownership of the moon and other extraterrestrial bodies. No such claims have yet been recognised. A white paper by the Competitive Enterprise Institute suggested legalisation where the United States would recognise claims made by private entities, American and others, which meet certain conditions regarding habitation and transportation. Yeah. So the private ownership of outer space has not yet been explicitly outlawed. That's the other thing. With only 18 countries having ratified it by 2018, I wonder what those 18 countries are, because, like, I did this quite a bit before 2018. I did it in 2006 or 2007 or 2005 even. So I wonder how many countries had actually ratified it by the time that I'd made my claim, if you see what I mean. So it's a moot point, isn't it? Can I bring it into my personal possession? However, by the establishment of nation states in these territories, and via the system of taxation I include in the Constitution, whereby in effect the wealth of the outer solar system is spread equally among the citizenry of the outer solar empire, I think I now know what I need to do. I need to give citizenship away for free. Then I can make money from this, possibly, by selling other things, such as dukedoms, titles like Count, or like titles that are higher than the basic title of Lord. I like this idea, like giving everyone on earth the basic dignity of the title of Lord. I can also probably make a bit of scratch off selling currency and stuff, or giving currency away. I can just do that even, to people. I suppose each country in the outer solar empire may have its own coinage, or we might have a basic sort of credit system, and sort of have a euro for the Outer Solar Empire, whereby all the countries use the same currency. I think that might be a lot easier, frankly. But, so many things to consider, so many possibilities. Yeah, like I've issued edicts giving everything away for free, basically. In principle, they had to be citizens first. That's what I was sort of trying to do. Is selling citizenship. What I will do is give citizenship away for nothing, and allow everyone on Earth to be I will do that. As of this video, like I'm definitely doing that. I'll put something in writing, making it legal in my own imperial framework within the different sort of articles of state that I'm crafting. But yeah, I will give citizenship away for free. What I will not do, however, is give citizenship documents away for free, since I need money in order to be able to have those printed, and so on. I have overheads to consider on that level. Like even if I was to just give like a watermark PDF document away for free, like I would need people working on that to put the watermark on the document and make it all look sort of legitimate and make it impossible to forge, or very difficult to forge at the very minimum. I couldn't give away free passports. I'm not made of money, you know what I mean? I'm not, that would have to cost something. And then there's my time to consider. How much time do I devote to it? Do I not deserve something back? You know, I think, like what this does, what I'm not doing is subverting the authority of the Outer Space Treaty, nor am I attempting to. Because the Outer Space Treaty, that is ratified by over 100 nation states of Earth, and 38 others who have signed up to it but haven't ratified it or something. But this other treaty, this Moon Treaty, just 5 countries had ratified it by 1984. But the Moon Treaty, the agreement governing the activities of states on the Moon and other celestial bodies, better known as the Moon Treaty Moon Agreement. Like, what it really means is, it's a law governing the nation states of Earth. No one said ever that I couldn't just set up my own nation states on these moons. I need to read the entire Moon Treaty, I think, now. But yeah, this agreement has not been widely ratified, with only 18 countries having ratified it by 2018. Like, frankly, because a lot of countries out there want to get to the moon and exploit its natural resources, including countries like China. I bet China hasn't ratified it because they're eyeing it up hungrily for using it for things like nuclear fusion and so on, getting the deuterium and tritium, or the tritium even, out of the lunar soils. So yeah, like what I'm doing, like under international law, and via the terms of my constitution, by Article 1 of the Constitution, where I said I obey Earthling law with anything that I pass in the Outer Solar Empire, unless relevant contradictions exist under Earthling law, in which case I can rebel against things that are contradicted by international law, under international law, if you see what I mean. So like international laws and restrictions on drug use, for example, and the cultivation of, say, cannabis, that is contradicted by religious freedoms and the International Declaration of Human Rights. So like that would be an example of a contradiction under Earthling law. So no, we're not going to follow that sort of thing, if you understand what I mean. But yeah, and this is the process of statecraft. Yeah, I'm not subverting the Outer Space Treaty. I'm obeying it, and I'm obeying the Moon Treaty, I think, by doing this. Yes, I am. And I'm bringing different layers of legislation and constitutional law to space. So I think I've done a really good thing still. I think like this is a project with a lot of potential. And it could be something really cool and fun. So I've omitted myself from being able to sell citizenship, I think. I've omitted myself from being able to sell land there. There's two things I can't do. That everyone who's a citizen will get an equal portfolio of land within OSE territories. What I can do is sell documents, print currency and sell that. I can sell indulgences. I can sell titles. I can not sell drilling rights. I can organise the sale of drilling rights. Possibly. But under my own constitution, by this 80-20 principle of taxation, whereas the poorest 20% can never be 80%, more than 80% poorer than the richest 20%. I ensure a very great deal of equality. A rather equal society is what I want to establish there. Where I don't have humongous opulence. I don't have this staggering wealth of the Outer Solar Empire personally, but it's automatically given back, if you understand. So it's not for me, just for me. It is still the province of all mankind. And that is very important, I think, and I totally agree with that. What Dennis Hope has done, on the other hand, is saying I will have that for myself and I will sell it to people, which is just a scam, more or less. And it's illegal under international law. He should be in the International Criminal Court, basically, as conducting a huge fraud. He, by the way, lied about trying to sell my territory, owning my territories, which you can't sell legally at all, not under the law of any given nation. So, I don't think that's something way better than what he's done. I think I deserve a little bit of recognition for this, at least. And I do have a little bit of recognition for it already, I suppose. People gave me 4 or 5 likes or so on my video about this that I did last time, but yeah, it's what I'm doing, I don't think it's legal slipperiness or trickery, or or trying to play fast and loose with international law. I think what it's doing is soundly upheld by it. It's reasonable. It's fair. It's democratic. It's liberal. But it's egalitarian as well. Yeah. I like it. I'm happy with it. I feel right with myself about it. I think this is a good thing to have done. I do. So, I will. This is my hill to die on, probably in life, to some extent. As first citizen emperor, this is my will. This is what I'm going to do. Yeah, well. So welcome everyone to the Outer Solar Empire. You are now, in principle at least, all citizens. However, if you want documents proving it, you have to give me some money. Thank you for watching. I love you lot. See you soon.